好了，观众，欢迎回到现场。那么，经过刚才一场激烈的比赛之后，现在双方战成了1比1平。而且第二场比赛，感觉 EDG 整个队伍不在状态，
这感觉换了一遍。
对，他们强行拿一个老鼠。
其实我觉得还是因为上一盘赢得有点太顺利，让 EDG 觉得自己就自己陷入一个无敌的这种感觉。
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are getting ready to get into what is guaranteed to be an explosive final. The final game of the night. This determines, of course, the number 1 and 2 seeds representing China at the World Championships this year. Will it be Starhorn Royal Club, who came into a huge resurging victory after game number 1's complete shutdown? Or will EDG stay true to their roots, not give any ground, and take that final match? Frostgrin, let's get your opinion on the subject.
My opinion won't count for much, as we are into picks and bans, so it will be resolved
We don't have any time. Here we go. These are smart bans, actually, like pretty standard stuff.
Of course, Starhorn Royal Club, respecting the Maokai, are going to ban it themselves this time around, since EDG are first pick, and that was pretty much one of the primary problems. Starhorn Royal Club just got too many priority picks. I don't want to give EDG any excuses, though I feel like allowing those certain picks through, it was almost testing their limits in a way, but they definitely got burned, showing that you cannot give a team as powerful and as proficient as Starhorn Royal Club that many priority picks.
Not to mention a lot of dragons were given up too. It'll be down to how they play this out. But Rai is prioritized, of course, picked up right now. And then, of course, the Poppy Hover. They won't lock that one in, but that would have been quite an entertaining final.
The priority of Rise over Zillion is actually very curious in this aspect, because they could have gone back to their initial composition, although Kale was banned away. I don't know. I think this was a little fishy.
Ooh, okay, Rise. So they take away Lucian from Uzi, and then Clear Love once again Kazik, so we'll be 3 for 3 in this set.
Relia now being hovered over for Colo into that top lane. Still don't know if that Rise is going to be a top or mid lane Rise.
Yeah, it's definitely a very flexible pick, and I think that's more valuable to them than prioritizing the Zillion, even though Yu was an absolute monster on it.
Uzi, I gotta finally said. Insect.
Why not, right?
Finally said again.
And once again, they're hovering over the Blitzcrank pickup. I would be surprised if they do this, but there's a lot of supporting champions already, so seems like they are actually thinking about it.
Please, FCZF.
No, he's going to go back to Thrash.
That I know can be.
Yeah. There we go. So this should be locked in here, and this gives a lot of support, but it also, okay, they're really thinking about it. Jace locked in. All right, so that is likely going to be our mid lane choice. That means we have a top lane Rise.
The wave clear from Jace can handle Zillion, can push him in just as much. The poke potential, the speed, the fact that he has the acceleration gate, he's able to follow the Zillion around as well as help his team out as far as giving them all speed beasts in the same way that Zillion can.
Uzi, last second swap over to the Vayne choice. You got to pull out all the stops. This is his most known champion, his most legendary champion. And I think the time is right to make the play happen.
Wonderful. See another pentakill.
Well, we'll have to see, guys. We'll take a quick commercial break, get into game in just a second, but this will be the final match of the night. EDG, Starhorn Royal Club 1 will be China's number 1. 1 will be number 2. All right, here we are on to Summoner's Rift for the final time tonight. Edward Gaming coming out the gates with some interesting choices. A few takeaway picks and a mid lane Jace now to deal with Starhorn Royal Club and Uzi rocking a Vayne pick this time. It'll be hard to kill him, especially with 0 on Zillion.
This is the second time that we've actually seen Jace pop up in the regional qualifiers, I believe.
It's true.
I think it was Wayless that came out with it the first time as far as the regional qualifiers.
Didn't really help particularly, but it wasn't really his fault that that game didn't go quite the way they wanted.
Typically, it's World Elites, mid laners, ninjas choice champion. It did see a pentakill in the LPL season
That's very
on
true.
Ninja.
So it has come out infrequently and then kind of to great results. So give it some credit there. I think Yu is definitely the kind of player that can make that happen. It's very annoying to deal with a Jace. Very good range.
I think it's a very interesting way in dealing with what Zillion's going to bring to team fights.
Yeah, that's going to mean quite a lot as the game goes on too. Also, the late game scaling between the ADC and the top lane on Starhorn is pretty terrifying to behold. It's all going to be, for EDG, the name of the game is going to be try to shut down Uzi as fast as they possibly can. I think they want to take the early 2v2, but, well, they're just getting a little bit extra control because they know that there is Uzi and Zero hanging out in the top lane.
Very curious anytime you ever see Uzi back out of a 2v2 situation. Again, the importance of this match cannot be understated. The winner here goes on to be the first seed for China.
Yeah, and that's really important. You want to avoid some of the tougher matchups early on in the group stages. Both these teams, very adept at playing out a controlled pace if they want to. Even though Starhorn does want those early picks and setups, they have shown that they can make that cerebral play, and I think this is probably the time to do it. Insec will still want to make picks if he can and set up Uzi, but they don't necessarily have to get an early game lead with the composition that they have.
Both supports are going to back, probably wander up to their top laners and assist them. AD carries will stay in the lane, picking up that solo farm and EXP.
Yeah. It'll just sort of be like a dance of who can do this a little bit better, a little bit faster. This does favor Starhorn because Name is on a champion that should do quite well against Vayne in the early game. In a 1v1 situation, definitely hard to tell. I am a little bit surprised they went for the Lucian choice. Other than a takeaway, do you think there was any significance behind why Nami locked that in?
Lucian is always going to be strong in LPL. You have to think that the mentality is to dive the AD carry to lock him down as much as possible, and Lucian is one of the few AD carries, probably the most proficient at being self-sufficient and being able to take care of himself due to his relentless pursuit.
Mm-hmm. And
it's also the fact that he has a really big mid-game power spike. Not so much in the hands of EDG, but in China in general, the fact that they like to group up and team fight and utilize his early power more effectively.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we won't see like a slightly different playstyle. Now, Name actually forced to go a little on the defensive with the bombs from Zero just proving incredibly annoying to deal with for himself. I think Starhorn definitely came up with a pretty winning composition as far as that early game, mixing it up to the later game kind of play really mixed up goes. Oh, FCZF gets a catch onto Uzi. Oh no, Clear Love. I don't think this is enough damage, but they flash forward to try and secure it. Summoner heal is not going to be enough. First Blood going over, and wow, Insect, they even managed to get a hook flay back onto him, nearly transferring those buffs, but Clear Love almost gets punished for it. Name, meanwhile, forced to suffer in this 1v2.
The fact that Clear Love is getting involved so early in EDG kind of speaks about the pace that this game is going to be set. Again, EDG, their kill participation, the Clear Love has the highest, and it's pretty much the same across the board. When they do something, they do it together. And if Clear Love's not on board, then the team kind of falls apart.
Yeah, they're really trying to turn Starhorn's game against them. This is a really curious start for the EDG side. Meanwhile, Name was forced out of lane by Cola and Zero, so this is some free push that they're able to establish here. Clearlove has to make a move to help him out.
Returning to lane, still doing decent in that CS, so that Uzi is starting to pull ahead slightly.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been nearly as harassed. I mean, yes, they did manage to kill him. That's true. But the fact that Name doesn't have the kill, right, doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be any farther ahead. So the farm difference is still there.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm. Save me from myself, Rosgrin. Please, bring it on home.
It's... What time is it?
I don't know. We're still traveling in time. As long as there's a Zillion game. Speaking of Zillion, immediately flashed. And FCZF completely misjudges where he was going. Throws the hook wide to the left. And a gank attempt is foiled.
Flashes out of the flay range there and is able to sidestep. I'm not even going to give that one to the sidestep to Zero. I'm going to give the sidestep to FCZF.
Yeah, I think FCZF sidestepped himself in that. Now, Name is taking quite a lot of poke. from these bombs. It's just so frustrating to deal with a Zillion that has that kind of range on you. Meanwhile, this mid has been incredibly quiet. Corn and you continue to just trade a little bit of farm, almost a gentleman's agreement not to aggress upon each other.
Well, both of them need more levels to get the sufficient amount of points in their abilities to start doing real damage there.
Don't we all need more levels, Frosk?
Yes.
Start to philosophize at this time of the day. Yeah, Cola and Name will continue to trade a little bit, but Name taking a little bit of tower poke. It's uncharacteristic to see him having this much trouble, even in the strange situation that he's in.
Playing very far forward, very aggressive. Does have 0 off in the wings. What is he, clearing a ward? I wish I could move the camera around.
Oh, Cola. Bit of poke there.
There comes the flank.
Yeah, they're going to go for this one. Name has to realize this is happening, but they get the slowdown. Bombs on Summoner Heal already spent. Cola going for the jugular. Will he be able to find it? The outplay is not strong enough with the 1v2, and Cola gets himself Starhorn's first kill.
Very nice move to make sure that Aurelia was lower health than Lucian so they could get the stun off of her E as opposed to just the slow. So great flank from Zero.
Really nice moves. And Name just playing a little bit out of his depth. It's very curious to see him struggle this much. And now that both AD carries have a death apiece, they kind of has to compare the farm here. And it's Uzi doing much better on a comfort pick.
Starhorn Royal Club as a team, if we think about their trajectory and their progress over the split, it's pretty much night and day. They look almost like a completely different team in their methodical and controlled playstyle. The fact that they're able to now stand toe-to-toe with someone like Edward Gaming, which previously wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, and I think they're just sort of trying something out a little bit different. I wonder if this isn't just like a time for experimentation, too, if they're not necessarily worried about the first or second seed, and they're just trying to do something that may be a little bit unusual for them. If they can still pull out the win here, it'll justify it, but it is very risky. Oh, speaking of risky, Name gets stunned up on the Equilibrium Strike, trying to find some damage. Cola is returning it. There is the Colon coming out, but Name is so very low, and there's no way he can follow this one up, especially with Zero hanging out in that Tri-Brush.
Also has to be careful because Cola will have her cooldowns back and available, so doesn't want a relentless pursuit after that, only to get turned around by a nicely placed E.
Yep, there is Insec clearing out his red, as he should be able to make some picks wherever he wants to play at this point. They haven't needed anything bot because Name's just been so shoved back in. The mid lane actually has been incredibly quiet for most of this. I think Starhorn doesn't necessarily know what to make of this Jace mid lane. They have faced off against it before.
It's difficult to gank because you're on the shortest lane and you're competing against not only the acceleration gate, but of course he has the knockback as well.
Yeah, if he needs it, he's got quite a lot of tools at his disposal. And the big question is, when does this Dragon contest come in? Because as we've seen that last game, EDG can't afford to just keep giving up free Dragons, especially not with the composition that they have this time.
And you make a key point here, the fact that EDG has much more of a mid-game power spike composition. Again, you're competing against the late-game scaling potential of the Vayne, so Starhorn Royal Club would actually prefer to have an extended laning phase to allow more free CS and more free EXP into their AD carry, whereas EDG need to make things happen.
Yeah, tables are kind of turned with the way that they've chosen these champions right now, and they are trying to set up a pick. Oh, FCZF again unable to find the hook. It just hasn't been connecting for them in this early game, and they are trying this aggression, but this seems so uncharacteristic of them. Why are they trying to play it this way?
See what Starhorn Royal Club's able to do. They did make the lane swap, so it's now the 2v2 in the bot side, so being aware of that dragon, making sure that they have an equals numbers footing here.
Bomb getting placed on FCZF's head. Man, that is just frustrating to deal with. And Koro finding Cola up in the top. So the lane's kind of reset to normal.
But look at the CS difference between the lanes. Top lane 51 to 75. The AD carry 70 to 85.
The swap paid off for Starhorn, definitely.
Exactly. Every 12 CS, 12 to 13 CS is equal to the amount of kill gold.
And now Dragon should be contested in just a little bit, but they're going to have to deal with this early fight. Zero will get caught on a line. That is going to be a kill, but it's going to be Bazillion ultimate coming in, and now everyone's just going back left and right. Insect finally falling down. One more tower shot. Cola, he's low. He's under tower, and EDG managing to take the play. They give up FCCF, but they find 2 for it, and they could get the dragon. Uzi has to run away from this one. Koro, no fear whatsoever, finds Korn, will duel him out. Oh, the ball, not going to connect. Clear Love flashing away from it. Perfect time. Here comes you, and they have to burn their own summoners just to get out of this one. EDG is low, but there is no more threat, and I think this is going to be an EDG dragon.
Very nice flash to dodge the shockwave right there. Pretty much saved that team fight. Don't know if they can rotate to the dragon. It looks like they are pinging for it.
They're thinking about it. I think they might want to go for this tower instead, but they don't have a huge minion wave. They're going to try to get both. It's just a little bit greedy.
No, they're backing off. Because Insect was one of the first to fall, so he would be back, and they wouldn't be able to do it quick enough because they're such low level.
Yeah. No, that's fair. There's really no reason to risk too much, and the tower's a much safer choice. So they do find it. And that is a little bit for their troubles. They do find the slightly better fight as well. And I think that was honestly the best they could have hoped for in that situation.
They might lose out to the dragon here, though. Starhorn Royal Club are all back from spawn.
No staggers. No staggers. EDG going to get punished on this particular side of the map. They try to play the dragon game. Not used to it, but FCZF, see if he can't get a zone off here. Just finds a bomb on his head. And this should be picked up pretty handily by Starhorn Royal Club. Ooh. Insect does get hooked, but he gets the smite off nonetheless.
Completely fine, though. The fact is that they traded the global objective of the tower. So a map pressure objective versus just losing the dragon. The dragon will be respawning. So you have to think of the mentality of the towers. The gold is only there for the actual structure, whereas the dragon will continuously respawn.
Mm-hmm. It's a
think
safer
about that
thing.
way. EDG came out ahead.
Yeah, well, all right. Yeah, it just still smacks of trouble because Starhorn is playing a comp they're comfortable with, they're playing champions they're comfortable with, and they're playing a game they're comfortable with, while EDG is experimenting very heavily on the fly.
Back to lane phase it goes. See if EDG will try to snowball more of these objectives and take advantage of their mid-game power spike. But Koro getting caught out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he's down. Goodbye. Insec. Double timing with Cola, managing to find that one. No problem. Meanwhile, everyone from EDG is kind of trying to split up and establish map pressure all around. It's curious that they're not trying to group up and force a fight here with Insect a little bit low. I mean, Koro's coming up on such a low cooldown anyways. I think they could make it for this mid pretty soon, but they just are trying to play this cautiously.
I think they're prioritizing the lane phase too much. I mean, Zero and Uzi are doing a good job forcing Name and SCZF to react because they're creating a pressure point on the bottom side. If they were to zone, or excuse me, not zone, freeze the wave up higher for just Uzi to just farm, Name and SCZF would wander to the mid tower, and then it would become Korn's problem as well.
Oh, Name, he's in a little bit of trouble, has to dash out of that fight. Avoid FCZF, there's a bomb, that's going to cause some trouble. Zero caught up on a line, here comes you, and they do manage to secure themselves a kill, looking for more. Uzi, can he kite away? Final hour being spent, but they slow him down, they get the exhaust. This is 3 members, it's far too much, and a double kill going over to Jace. Nothing else to take here, but a nice play by EDG.
And that's the punishment, the fact that they decided to create the pressure point to force FCZF and Name to stay in the lane as opposed to roaming and causing havoc across the map. They get ganked and they get killed.
Yep, so Starhorn having their own game kind of played against them here. And they were playing with extreme confidence. But at this point, it's hard to call this game dead even at 15 minutes.
EDG should really be focusing on that mid lane, though. With the dragon down, the mid tower is the next most important objective on the map.
Yeah, I think that's probably where they'll start heading. You see Koro backing right now. Clear Love going to follow him as well. And will we start to see the real fights, or is it just going to continue to be skirmishes and picks?
Again, competing with the mobility and the roam of that JC acceleration gate, able to stay one step ahead of Starhorn Royal Club this game.
Now with the scaling that's offered on these champions, Koro versus Cola, Korn versus you, I mean, the real big stark difference is in the AD carries, and I feel like Name is not necessarily playing up to the strengths of this Lucian, but he's also not finished an item yet. Where do you see this going as far as his role in the fights?
Name in a team fight?
Yeah, particularly, if that's what it does trend towards.
I mean, he's still going to do relatively decent damage. Comparative... I mean, Vayne is quote-unquote a hyper carry. Stands up there with Kog'Maw and Jinx as far as her damage late game due to the true damage potential. But that said, Lucian in his most recent changes has a better late game than he previously had. And it looks like he's building the Eye-Edge build, so he is going for that late game. It's not going to be like he'll just completely fall off.
Mm-hmm. But he's also built like so many pieces of things like all at once too, so they're definitely kind of sacrificing some of that early game potential.
It's about how Lucian synergizes with Jace in the poke, and laying down that poke before the team fights to find an engage that EDG like.
Okay. Well, it's always been a team that will not take an engagement that doesn't look good to them, so they will move forward onto this one. Siege commences, and this tower should fall down pretty quickly. Clearlove being Sonic Wave. The ball is going to connect on Koro. Teleport coming in. This is actually going to force EDG to back off if they do not want this fight. Narrowly dodging away the skill shots. Ball coming in for the zone. Here comes Insect. Gets the kick back onto you, and that's what he's famous for. You going to fall down. Cola getting himself the kill credit.
Brilliant move from Insect right there. You are correct. That is what he's famous for. He actually casts the R, and then he flashes mid-animation, which is why that seems so seamless.
Mm-hmm. It's like a movie. It's just 1, 2, 3 frames, and you're done.
See if they can find the tower here. Are competing against the anti-siege of Rise and Clearlove's W, evolved form.
Something we didn't talk about, too, is that EDG has a really fantastic anti-siege and siege kind of together. They may not have the best team fighting potential, but they certainly have objective pushing.
I think they recognize that the last game they got out-rotated and they lost too many objectives, and they have the remedies now on their composition and kit this time around.
Mm-hmm. So, but is it a knee-jerk reaction to get this much mobility and this much siege at the cost of maybe your 5v5?
Their 5v5 is still relatively strong. I think the only thing that they sacrifice is true hard engage. Again, they're relying either on the acceleration gate with like a slow to just catch up to people and run them down, or they're relying on a death sentence. There's no cataclysm or shockwave or solar flare.
Mm-hmm. Well, they are running away from as many engages as they possibly can now. With this Dragon live, Starhorn has it in their sights and will immediately start it up, forcing this one. And again, EDG, not even going to go for it. That's already gone, but they will try to trade for the second tier mid. At least with one member. Only committing Koro to it. Oh my goodness, this could turn out very awful. The insect kick connect. Oh, Clearlove, he's down. Box is down as well. Cola and Zero are so low in this one. And the ball, it's down. FCZF not going to live through that. You get 2-4-0 as Zero and Cola limp away from the fight. Starhorn coming up with the win in the flank.
Careless from EDG, really. They gave up another free dragon, didn't bother to contest it, but pushed forward and thought about trading the second mid-tier tower for the global objective of the dragon. Got caught on the flank, didn't commit as a team. Rise got separated from them and just deleted from the map.
Absolutely. There was really no need to try and zone with 4 members. I feel like they could have escaped a little bit better through the jungle if they really wanted to commit to that tower, but it was indecision all around that really allowed Starhorn to take advantage, and this is where they thrive, in the confusion, in the chaos.
Now it's about spinning that gold, taking account of their snowball, and how they're going to continue from here. Are they going to attempt a siege? Are they going to go back to this lane phase, stall out even longer?
I think Starhorn really can't wait to spend this gold if they need to, just because they're able to outmaneuver and outfight anything that EDG has at the current moment.
I like the fact that Starhorn Royal Club is recognizing the game that EDG wants to play as far as late game team fights, and that they immediately changed up gears. Hold on a second, because speaking of gears, Name.
He's in trouble. He gets away, has to burn a flash though.
FCZF
may not be so lucky. The ball is going to connect on him, and Insect, with the help of Korn, just blows him up.
So Starhorn Royal Club recognizing that EDG likes to play the late game, that they're all about the team fights, back to back. They're 2 different compositions. They pick up the power spikes for that. They have the Orianna, they have the Vayne previously, they had the Maokai, so
What I'm worried about is this Aurelia right now.
They've been well known for kind of how one-dimensional and formulated they are about how they go about things, but I like the adaptation from them.
Yeah, they're really showing that they are a team. That minion looks so sad. Lost over there. The edge.
And a lot of the evolution of Starhorn Royal Club really comes back to the communication as well. I guess now that they all communicate in English inside the comms. Yeah. And apparently InSec is a big talker.
I'm not that surprised to find that out, in all honesty. And the communication issues, you know, they definitely seem to plague Starhorn at the very beginning of the summer when they did acquire their 2 Korean players. But, I mean, they've been able to find success where no other team that's done that has. So really impressive feat. And again, this is a team that's their future is kind of reliant on performing at Worlds. We've already heard that InSec may not stay with the team should they not get up to that level. They've already bought themselves a ticket, but can they get this #1 seed?
Can they get the easier pass through group stage?
I don't think that minion's there.
The purple guy
that's a ghost minion.
Just hanging out there?
Yeah, so this is a ghost in the machine. Oh,
That's
Uzi Eye.
for me.
Oh boy. Try to take the 1v2, you're going to get burned. Nearly found Koro for all of his trouble, but still goes a little bit too hero. And he finds himself dead. Flashing forward, EFCZF going to help. Starhorn Royal Club, Korn getting blown up. And guess what, guys? It's Baron time.
That was the quintessential Uzi Eye move right there. Everything's going so well, it's just one wrong face check. EDG, you cannot give them any sort of space to make those plays, but the teleport is coming in.
Oh boy, they have to make these plays. Zero goes down. Cola, he's getting knocked back. Wow, they find these picks like crazy. InSec is the only man standing, and not for long. He gets blown up for the ace. Uzi Eye finally comes back, and out of all of that, EDG get themselves all 5 members and a Baron. How about that? 5-1. You on this Jace.
And if Uzi Eye is living up to his reputation by face-checking into a team, EDG living up to their reputation right then and there. The game is so controlled, so paced, and then immediately erupts into action as EDG strikes.
Yeah, Uzi Eye face-palming after that maneuver. Absolutely horrendous move, resulting in EDG punishing. And now they're back in the gold lead. They have the chance to push this one forward, and there are a number of objectives that are looking juicy.
See what they're able to do with this Baron buff. Still relatively early in the game, only 24 minutes.
Yeah, also, can we talk a little bit about FCZF's flash hook? What an incredible move that he was able to make there in the heat of the moment as well to secure up even more, and that pretty much is what allowed the Baron. Yes, picking off Uzi Eye gave them the courage to do that. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute. Oh, Clear Love. Speaking of mistakes. Goodbye.
Classic.
Yeah, that's all you can say there. So, one less team has the Baron buff, or one less member has the Baron buff, but they still can push on this tower.
Would be the first tower that they would break with the Baron buff, see if they're able to get any more. They still have a first-tier tower standing up in the top lane, and I expect that they will be dealing with that shortly.
Yeah, that is pretty much the low-hanging fruit of the objectives, but they do want to try and take this dragon. They have learned from the past mistakes, roaming together as 4 here. Well, soon to be 5. Here comes Clear Love. Oh, Insect nearly gets himself in a bad spot, but those blasters are flying left and right. Imperial Troopers, they can't finding their mark. If you want Star Wars references, we've got them. All right, so
Clear Love is coming in the back.
Here we go. This might be the real deal here. EDG zoning away, and I think Starhorn might just give this one up. It's not necessarily worth losing all your members over, especially when there are only a few towers in the mid.
The game-deciding fight to be on a 25-minute dragon, no.
Yeah, that would be rough. So, and this is almost like kind of the exact opposite of what we saw last game. 25 minutes in, EDG managed to take a massive swing in their favor. But what else can they grab? That outer tower in the top is looking good, but they need a big wave to build up. I think they're just biding their time for it.
They've got the wave. It's sure to go down pretty soon. More importantly, we've got a lot of key items finally out on the playing field. The item, though, that we are missing is Koro's Rise. The fact that he doesn't have his Seraphs yet. coming to 25 minutes, his Roa should be complete, or at least complete in its stack, so a power spike is still waiting there for EDG.
And now Uzi making his move up to the top right now. He's getting a little bit of help, but waiting in the brushes isn't going to be super effective if the entire enemy team checks into it. You can only delete one from the map at a time. And they will be taking this wave to try and push on the top. Here's the trap, closing the net right now. Uzi coming around the back. They dodge just about everything. Clearlove getting kicked back in. Uzi found his mark. It's Clearlove. The hook's not going to connect. The ball, though, so Korn, can he zone it out? He can't do it. He goes down. FCZF trying to find the play here. Uzi with the flash forward. They will be able to take down Clearlove, but at what cost? They lose themselves 3 members in a double kill going over to you. Uzi getting one, but they lose a tower, and now EDG is on the march.
Starhorn Royal Club sets up the trap, but it's EDG that comes out on top, primarily due to Name's quick thinking and positioning, the fact that Yu was able to rotate in time. And with that, they grabbed not just 1 tower, but 2.
They can keep going for this one if they want. Now, Insec is frantically trying to answer in the middle. They've already got a bot tower. Cola just backing now. If it gets canceled, they'll be able to save this one. He does. Oh my goodness, they could take out an inhibitor right now. It's only 0 here to defend this. An EDG from the outer turret to the inhib in one push. 27 minutes in, they're able to grab it and back away safely. What a swing of power. Insect still poking away at that mid-outer tier turret. I hope it was worth.
And EDG is still 5k gold down. Oh, excuse me. They're up.
Math. It's hard sometimes, isn't it?
It's hard when it's early.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing we're casters. I feel like we'd be terrible mathematicians.
I know, right?
Yeah. It shouldn't allow us to teach kids. Alright, so Insec, I'm not sure why they kept trying to split out so hard. Yeah, they grabbed a pair of towers, but they gave up so much more. And that trap, I don't think they expected the number of members of EDG there.
The 3, they didn't expect the flank from Yu, but again, utilizing the acceleration gate correctly, the fact that he's able to get around so quickly. It's a pseudo-zillion, is what it is.
Yeah, basically, it's fulfilling the same basic need that they have as well. So
I mean, the only thing you don't get is the obviously the chrono shift, but I mean, where he's really potent as far as the Chinese teams are concerned is again that mobility. It's so much about, because it's all about team fighting and finding the flanks and the correct angles that you want, the counter engage and re-engage.
Yep, EDG pretty much can run all over this jungle if they want to now. This is their time. This is the power spike. It's not going to last forever. Baron is now down. A minute and a half till it will respawn. But Edward Gaming looking to make a play onto this bot. They don't need the Baron buff, they're saying, and bringing all 5 members to the party. This will be the real deal team fight if they can do it under the tower. A lot of wave clear here, but Starhorn not wanting to take it. Oh, teleport in the backside. They see Cola coming on in, and they bail out of it. Whoa, Cola going way too hard, way too forward. They do get the hook back off. Cola's going to go down, but it's going to be the Zillion ultimate. Insect trying to get the kick back, and he does. It's Uzi going down, though. Clearlove making the play, and EDG coming out on top once again. They don't lose a single member, and they come up huge. Big kills all around the board. They should get themselves a turret, and flashing away, Clearlove avoids the last tower shot, and he comes right back on in thanks to a lantern. This should be inhibitor number 2, and the death timers are so high right now. That's the surrender vote. What is going on? EDG, #1 seed for Worlds, and that was abrupt.
I'm going to give that last play to FCZF. It was beautiful that Clearlove actually checked the brush to see the teleport coming in, but that home guard Aurelia was terrifying. Absolutely stopped in her tracks with a perfectly placed Thresh ultimate right there for the disengage. So
yeah,
that was fantastic.
What a play is all I can say there. And that just demoralized Starhorn. I mean, they got the #2 slot, but EDG putting themselves into that #1 position, and they made it look so good with a comp that we just haven't seen them use that much.
Methodical, precise, again, playing up to their team fighting. They've earned the nickname Baby Blue.
We'll give them that. So they will be our #1 seed, guys. We have all of our seeds set now, of course. It is going to be in the first place spot, EDG. Those guys, you are seeing them right here, right now. Then they will be joined by Starhorn Royal Club in the #2 and OMG in the #3 spot. So what a game, what a night. And we have all our teams for Worlds.
恭喜 EDG 在他们应该说是今年新的一支队伍，现队1年2次。